Awesome. So, hello, everyone. I am here with one of my clients, Cristina Bold, and she has done a few things with me this year. So, we worked together in different capacities pretty much all year so far. So, I think like in January, if I'm right, you did the group program, Six Figure Ambition, and then now we've been doing some one-on-one work. So, I definitely wanted to get you on because you have totally like I feel like you've transformed your business like and really grown and like and just getting really incredible results. So I want to talk to you a little bit about that and really dive into like what the difference has been. But first, can you tell everybody who you are and what you do?
Sure. Thank you so much, Taylor, for inviting me for this interview. So I'm Cristina Bold. I'm a money mindset mentor and a breakthrough coach. And my work and my passion is around helping women entrepreneurs to earn a consistent five-figure amounts. And in the end, to live their richest life. So that's what I'm really passionate about. And that's what my work is doing.
I love it. Yes. And your clients get amazing results. I want to actually ask you about that in a little bit. That reminded me of something else. Okay, cool. Tell us a little bit of like where you were at before this year. So whether it was like kind of the end of last year, beginning of this year, like what did your business look like?
Oh my God, it's like
A long time ago.
And now while you were talking, I realized that we are working together for 9 months. So it's really, it's a relationship already, a long-term relationship. So in the beginning of this long-term relationship, my business was so different. I was in a completely different stage of my life, of being me. I was still hustling for every client, and like every client felt hard for like struggle to get that client in. And my prices were very low compared to where I am today. But besides the money part, everything felt very, very hard, very difficult. I was confused. I didn't have anything. Basically, I didn't even have a lead magnet that was working. My list was non-existent. And yeah, it was like a completely different version of me and of what I'm experiencing right now.
And what does right now? Yeah, what does right now look like?
Well, right now, actually, it's really easy. It's really I'm not saying that there are not challenges and that there is still plenty of room to grow, but I think that the main difference is the ease part. So while everything was feeling like a struggle, now I have very predictable processes. I know that those five-figure amounts, I can hit them at the beginning of every month, and then I'm just completely booked. And then I can now focus more on the passive income part, so on how I can trade less of my time and make more money. But that's not really the point. How to trade less of my time, feel good in my business, and be able to make a bigger impact while also, feeling more and more abundant each time. So as you see, it's completely a different vibe, completely a different reality.
Totally. And now you've hit this point where like signing clients, like I just love like, you're like, okay, or one of our last calls, you're like, I need to sign like 3 or 4 clients this month. That's going to be amazing. And I'm like, I feel like we don't need to talk too much about that in this call. And you're like, no, I got that handled. Whereas before it would have been a little bit different. So that's so cool. And now, like you said, there's still some struggle. So now we're diving into passive income and our favorite Facebook ads and all that and going on like a whole new journey. But so you did already kind of mention this, but tell us a little bit about like the difference between like, go wherever you want with this, but like, what's the difference between before and now when it comes to like hitting 5-figure months? You already mentioned that now that feels really easy and you're doing that consistently. So what's that big difference there from going from that feeling like forced and pushed and struggle to, oh yeah, I've got this. Like, I'm just going to go do it.
Mm-hmm. before I answer that, I just want to point to the fact that those 3, 4 clients happened, no, 4 clients already happened in less than 1 week. So in that week, between the moment that we last spoke, so it was like, just signing 3 clients in one day and then another 2 clients in another day, and that's it. Now I basically cannot get any more clients in for this month at least, until I'm finalizing some older relationships. So thinking from this perspective, where I am today, where it's like I'm converting almost 90% of my course with potential clients, and it's as easy as it can get. It can get here in this one-on-one coaching part of the business. So watching from here to backwards, I see that there were some very, very simple things and very few things that made a difference. And obviously the main one was starting working with a good business coach, which in my case was you. And that was helpful on different levels. It was helpful in terms of strategy, obviously, and getting to know how things need to be done, but also tapping into, a type of inspiration and high vibe that for me really, really, really matter a lot. To see somebody who, I don't know exactly, all the details in your business, but from outside, you look always so happy and energetic, and things are like, just, are simple for you, or at least that's the vibe and that's the impression that people are getting when they are staying in your world. And for me, that I am very sensitive to energies, that really helped a lot, because I was staying in this high vibe, and it was like my creativity, my inspirations were stimulated. So I was also wishing to get there to, the same kind of vibe. So working with you for me helped not only in terms of strategy, but also in terms of being inspired, and being inspired to take action, being inspired by what is possible, being inspired by your overall energy. So that was one huge component that helped my success. The second part, which for me is equally important, was being able to build my and to step more and more into my self-worth. Into the value that I find in myself as a person, and that I find in my work. And obviously that this came with, in inner work, it's like walking the talk, because that's exactly what I'm going through also with my clients, and they get amazing, amazing results by doing so. But it was also by being able to, allowing time in a way, taking the right steps in order to have clients and allow the time for them to have their own experiences and to get results. And obviously that then it's a snowball. The more results or the more spectacular results your clients get, the more confident you are, the more you get there, and help them get even more spectacular results, and all this spirals up. So I think that building my self-worth based both on the inner work and also on seeing really what's the impact of the work that I am doing with my clients made a whole difference, together with the work with you. I hope that answered your question.
And I want to ask this because I think some people might wonder this, like how, because I'm sure there was a time where like signing clients wasn't so easy. So I'm sure either the type of results your clients were getting, plus you were in a different place, was different, or you didn't have as many clients, so there wasn't as many results to share. Like now you have like all these client results that you're sharing like all over the place, and they're amazing. And your clients are like having 5-figure months and manifesting all this money and building their businesses. Like what, I don't know if this is the right question to ask, but like, what's the first step to like getting that happening? Like, how did you do that?
That's really a good question.
I know. I don't even know if there's an answer. But...
So I have to admit that I am very passionate about coaching, and my clients were getting results also when we were when I was working with my first clients, and it still
Yeah.
felt like a struggle. Like they were launching their businesses like 18 months before they even thought that was possible to launch, and they were, getting better with their lives and their overall, well-being. But I think that at that period, in that moment, I was not very clear on the kind of people I wanted to work with and on the messaging. So I was somehow working with everyone. And then when you are working with everyone, somehow you are not staying in your zone of genius. So you are not getting your best results ever. So for me, literally, the jump start was the moment that I nailed my niche, and my niche is my money mindset. So when I started working, focusing on money mindset, then those results just blew. So it was like, Jesus Christ, so this is possible. So it was, and it still is many times, completely surprising also for me. But I think that that was really a very important thing that happened, to really, really nail your niche. And it's important not from, I don't know, as some business coaches are saying, because it is important. It is important. Why it's important? Because it is important.
Yeah,
But
it
it's
is.
important from my point of view as a mindset coach. It's important because that's how you stay in your zone of genius. And when you are staying in your zone of genius, you are getting your best results for you and for your clients. And when you are getting your best results, then everything spires up very rapidly. Your confidence, your attraction point for the other persons who need your help, and your confidence, and obviously then your business. So yeah, I think that now thinking about it, it was really important to have this help also from your side, to be able to find my zone of genius and to just start playing there in my playground, not in other people's playgrounds where I've been groping for a long time, I would say.
No, I think that's so true, because when you finally figure out like, okay, this really specific thing is what I'm an expert at, you start to feel like an expert because you are, instead of feeling like, so like if you were going into like just business coach and you're like, okay, I teach mindset, strategy, everything, then you're like, oh, I'm not really that great at strategy or compared to but you're the expert at like that, this is just an example, but like if you know you're an expert at that smaller thing, like your clients, they're not missing anything. They're getting that big thing that you're really an expert at. And then I'm sure sometimes you do talk a little strategy or this or that with your clients, but like you're leading. Yeah. You're leading with what you're an expert at, which is so good. I'm so glad that you shared that.
True. And related to that, I think and here it's not that, I am doing this to promote, or yes, I would like to encourage anybody who considers you as their coach. But I would like to say that I also found on my journey coaches who are trying to explain that, for instance, in my case, the mindset coaching is not selling, and that I should be a business coach. And in that moment, in the beginning, when you are confused and you feel lost and you don't really know how to play the game, you would do anything that somebody who, looks like an authority would tell you to do. So I tried to do that also. And literally it didn't work. And it didn't work not because I was missing the strategy, but because I was missing the passion. It was not my playground. So I'm seeing so many of my clients also, and of the people who are, entering my world, that are doing things or are trying to play games that they are not really good at, just because they were taught or because they saw that was working for somebody else. And maybe I would like to take this occasion to emphasize how important it is to just do whatever you feel inspired, like whatever you feel passionate about, because it's your passion that moves the mountains.
It is. Yeah. I was just talking about this with one of my coaches earlier, where like a lot of the times in the beginning of our business, whether it's just like watching people or a lot of us hire a coach when we're brand new, a lot of the times we're learning their path or like just whatever they think which is like where their heart is, where their intuition led them, like where their path led them. And even though some of that's going to work and get us to a certain point, there comes a point where like you've got to figure that out, probably with a coach, but on your own, like what's intuitively right for you, like what strategies are right for you, what are you meant to be leading with is your expertise. Like it's really important to, like, once you get to that point, like branch out as your own CEO, your own business, like not be afraid to do something a little different, right?
Yes, but
Yeah.
it's important sometimes to have the outside help, and that's also why you were so important for me at that stage. You are also now, but what was the help at that stage? The holding the space for me, and saying, okay, so let's do this. If that's what you want, let's do this and find a solution. What works? Let's see how we make it work. And that's such a different way and such a larger kind of in more embracing view than, oh no, that doesn't work, because I'm telling you from my experience that's not true. Each one has their own path and their own way of being and doing business. So that's why I so much appreciate that you don't try to push things on people, but just take the client's material, help them to clarify what that material is, and then make it work. And that's one of your biggest talents.
Oh, thank you. That's what I love doing, is figuring out, and you know this in your sessions, a lot of my clients hear this every session. It's like, what do you want? And then we just it's not like there is no like right way or right thing or right success to go after. It's like, what do you want? And then let's figure it out. So speaking of that, I think like one big thing I want to talk about with you that we did, and it's been a little bit since we really went over this, but raising your prices. I felt like that was a really fun hurdle. I don't know what we want to call it, but to get over together. So tell us a little bit about, you can tell us your rates if you'd like, if that feels good, or you can just tell us whatever you want. But how has your pricing changed this year? And what's that also done for you? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So I would say that at the end of last year, I was only selling a 6-week program, and the 6-week program had a price that was 3 times lower than the price that I am charging now for that program. And that program actually is not even what I am usually using in the relationship with my clients. So I also up leveled to a 3 months program, because I realized that it's more efficient to have a longer time relationship, because change takes time. And it's not only the change itself, but it's being accountable to be consistent in embracing that change and make that change stick. So yeah, I would say that my price is, just comparing the 6-week program cost or investment that somebody had to make in order to work with me at the end of last year, compared to what's happening now, it's like 3 times more. But that's not what I'm actually selling. So what I'm actually selling now, it's the 3 months program, which costs $4,500. So, and before I was charging $997. So obviously that also my experience increased, my tools increased, and I know much better how to bring the results that people want, and much more. Sometimes they even are surprised with what they are capable of, because they didn't believe that is possible for them. But besides obviously increasing my experience and building on new tools and new processes based on what I am working every day, it was always the self-worth that needs to be built. At that moment, in the beginning of the year, I was very shaky in what meant my belief in my value and the belief in my work. In fact, I think that I was at a rational level because this is something that this is the difference that I'm always making with my clients. The rational level will say, but I believe I am good. I love coaching and I believe that my work can, bring results. But the truth is that that's your brain, the rational brain, the logic brain that is telling you, but it has to be like this. I mean, I'm believing, I'm telling you that I'm believing. But at the heart level, subconscious level, and that's basically the driver of the reality, we doubt that we are capable, we doubt that there is that we are as good as other people doing the same thing around us. We doubt that people will invest in us. We doubt that even if they invest, we will be able to give them and to help them and deliver the results that they want. Blah 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 blah. And when you start trusting that, you also hold another vibration for the person in front of you, for the client, not only for selling them the program, because also in the sales conversation, and then I found out that you need to, you are selling your confidence, in fact, but that's another talk. But also when the person trusts that you can give them the results and trust that they are able through that process to achieve the results themselves, that's when also the magic happens. So everything starts from my point of view and ends with a self-worth, with obviously the necessary part of having a great strategy, of having a great business coach, a great mentor to guide your way. But unless you are also winner at the inner game, and that this game that involves self-worth, you stay a long time in the struggle part.
Yeah, because when we were talking about raising your prices the most recent time, it was like you did feel ready, but you also did not. It's like a mix. And I think a lot of people struggle with that, like, which one, is this telling me not to do it because that's the right answer for me? Or is this like a bunch of fear or whatever? And you went with it and you increased the prices. I remember you saying something like, I just got to start saying the number and I just got to start charging it. And like, I am afraid, but like, and then you sold packages at that rate, like I think pretty quickly. So that's really like, you have to be able to do things even though there is going to be a part of you like screaming at you because it's like deathly afraid of it.
True. And there was another essential moment when I really appreciated your help, because I needed also somebody from outside to tell me, hey, your rates are already small and you need to increase that. And it was like, oh my God. So it's so obvious that it means that I have to do it. And I remember that it was a very hard moment for me. Since then, I increased several times. But that first time when I increased my prices significantly was a very challenging moment for my mindset and overall energy, because I was feeling that I cannot stand behind that price for a stupid reason. For not believing really, really deep down enough in myself and in my work to trust that money was worth. But the fact that you said that you think that it's already time, and encouraging me to do that and holding that space for me really helped me to push myself through that resistance, because I think it's always a resistance when we are increasing our prices, no matter the level. Totally. I mean, especially if we are increasing them significantly.
Yeah, definitely. It's been like that with me for all my coaches too, like that have helped me with different stages of my business. It's like when they're like, no, Taylor, like it's time to do this now. Like it's well overdue. Like even I remember my very first coach just telling me when I made my first coaching package ever, I was like, I can't sell this. Like, that's great. But then she was just like, no, of course people are going to buy. This is amazing. Like what you have to offer is amazing. This price is amazing. I'm like, oh, okay. Like she's not going to lie to me. Like it's just good to have someone, because like we were talking about before the call, your confidence is always going to have to grow. So it's always nice to have somebody that believes in you. Like as you're up leveling, you almost need someone who believes in you like a little bit more, like just a teeny bit more than you believe in yourself, but can like pull you up to that really quickly, So I think that's awesome.
That's right. I think that's basically the biggest value of a good mentor.
Yeah.
to be able to see that potential and those possibilities and that power in you that you are not still capable to see. And you're really great at that.
Awesome. Thank you. Well, this was awesome. I think we covered a lot of good stuff. So I think we can wrap it up. Agreed?
I'm happy if you got what, what you wanted or you were hoping for.
Yeah, totally. Thank you so much.
It was all my pleasure. It's always a pleasure to talk to you.
Aw, okay, awesome.